Hello and welcome back to On Your Beauty. Today's video is going to be a face of impressions. I have seen a few YouTubers do this. Kristen Game does something similar, Viviana does makeup, does something like this. And basically I'm going to demonstrate a couple of new products to me that basically how they work, what I think of them, all that kind of jazz. Some of these are new to the market and stuff, so you know, exciting times. I'm going to start with the L'Oreal La Palette Nude, and this is the beige version. The rose gold version has been out for a while, but it just did not appeal to me. So this is the colour range. Now, it does actually come with a spongy tip on one side and a brush on the other side, a dual-ended thing, which is nice, but you know, doesn't get used. You can see it. We've got some shimmers. There's a light shimmer, there's another shimmer, and some down here, but it's mostly mattes, which is quite good. I do appreciate the matte colours, but well, the shimmer colours just do not have as much payoff. So there's four shimmers in total. I have used the bronze one on my eyes. I've done a wee sort of tutorial demo of how it's working. So I've used the bronze one all over the the moving part of my lid, and then I used sort of tanny chocolatey brown kind of shade in the outer V. So bronze all over. It does take a wee while to build it up, so I had to go in a few times just to get enough payoff, and I blended it out obviously. And then the tan brown colour, I used that just in the outer part of my eyelid, sort of not an outer V but outer third, and then up into my crease. And then I used the bronze colour underneath my lashes as well. It was okay. It's not my favourite bronze. I have others I prefer, but it was okay, and this is fine if you're travelling about. It's a handy one to have. I do appreciate the other matte colours. I normally use the taupe colour in this palette quite a bit, just for all over the lid, all, you know, for during the day. And this black colour at the end, well, it's not particularly black. It looks almost navy in person. Especially when it's in a black case, it doesn't look particularly black. I would tend to use just my crease in the outer corner, you know, that sort of stuff if I'm smoking it out in an eye look. The creamy colour, which is the lightest, I usually put that all over my lid after I put on the primer, just to sort of set the primer a wee bit. And then I will also use it to help blend out the crease up to my brows as well, so that's very useful there. Colours that I'm disappointed in, the two in the middle. Now, the gold isn't too bad. Let me see if we can get focus here. The gold isn't too bad, but the silver, they're just not particularly nice on the lid. You can sort of see them there. They're just not nice on my lid. The silver actually makes my eyes look a lot more crepey than they are. Now, I don't have the youngest eyelids, so they are slightly wrinkly, but not that wrinkly and not that old looking. The silvery colour just looks quite old on my lids. The light copper shade that I've used on top of the dark copper, so I suppose it's bronze and then the light copper, I've used that sort of in the centre and then, you know, a wee bit out over just to lighten things a wee bit. It's quite nice. It's not too bad, but the two centre colours, the gold and the silver, aren't the best. The black isn't the blackest. There is decent pigmentation, but not huge amounts. I guess I'm so used to using things like Urban Decay. Their Basics palette is just brilliant, and I wanted another palette with a few more shades in it, you know, browns and things that I could use. And I thought, well, this is a bargain. It retails for $14.99, so it's not actually that much of a bargain when I look back. I do like it. You get 6 good shades. The matte shades are pretty good, I have to say. The bronze and the copper shimmers aren't bad, not the best, but aren't bad. And then the silver and the gold, not overly keen on. They do wear well. I tested this last week, and they lasted, must have been a good 11 hours by the time I checked it. So I put it on first thing in the morning at 7 o'clock. This is my second time recording this video. This is how I know this. I kind of did a go away, test it out today, come back and show you what it looks like. But the eyeshadow was still pretty much in place from when I put it on at 7 o'clock in the morning until I got home and got to record the video at about 6, half 6 in the evening. So it did pretty well. It does tend to break up obviously in the crease, and it was slightly faded, but it was still very much there. So I was quite impressed with that actually. So it wears really well, especially, you know, as I said, considering it does take a wee bit of time just packing things on and getting them in place. It wears really well, because sometimes if you have to pack things on, they break down a bit quicker because there's more product there sometimes, but this lasted really well, so I was impressed with that. I'm in two minds whether or not I would recommend it. I do enjoy most of these shades. I can't remember off the top of my head how much the Urban Decay Basics palettes are, but they might be something worth checking out if you're looking for an accompaniment palette, as I would call it, you know, for crease work and that kind of jazz. And MAC also do some great palettes, also worth checking out. It depends on your budget. But this wasn't bad. It was a good average, I would say. Not the best, definitely not the worst, but a good average. So not bad. I don't feel like I've wasted my money as such. So, you know, I will definitely get use out of this palette. So yeah, not bad. Now the next product I was showing was I actually only got this yesterday, and it's the number 7 Midnight Lash for Spectacular Volume and Mascara. And I don't know why I got this. It was from Boots, and they were just like, here, have something on us. Now you can see from the wand, it's quite an odd shape, so it kind of is a wee bit fat at the base, and then it gets thin, and then it's big and fat, and then it's really small at the tip. Actually not a bad mascara to use at all. I was quite impressed. Decent amount of volume, not huge amounts, but I don't tend to layer my mascara on massive amounts. I don't enjoy that, but it did coat my lashes really well from root all the way up. It didn't leave my lashes clumpy. So for first impressions, this is pretty good. It retails for $13.50, so you know, it's not bad. It's actually, I don't know if it's as good as my Lancome Hypnose Drama Volume, but it's not very far behind it, and I would say it's a lot cheaper. So maybe if you're into that sort of thing, worth checking out. And I do actually like the shape of the brush. It made getting in at the roots quite nice and, you know, quite easy. I did, as you'll see, possibly manage to sort of go all the way through my lashes and onto my lid slightly at one point. That's fine, these things happen. It was the first time using the brush. But I do like the brush. I like bristly brushes. I prefer these over plastic ones. I don't mind plastic ones, but I prefer a bristly wand if I could get it. So I do like this, and the brush isn't overly loaded with mascara. It's not too wet a formula when you first use it. It's actually quite nice and creamy, but not dry. So I'm actually kind of impressed with this, and I will be playing with it lots more. So thank you very much, Boots. I wasn't sponsored, anything like that at all. I just literally got it in a box saying, we thought you might like this, expect an email. And I didn't get an email, but I did tweet about it, and they said, oh no, it's just a gift to have for us, we thought you might like it. So turns out you do like it. Thank you very much, appreciate that. Now my lower lashes, everybody in their neighbour has talked about this, but I finally give in and bought it. It's the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara, and this is a black one. This is obviously black as well, I'm guessing. It doesn't say, yeah, black. This is a black one. Now I've looked at this for so long. Look at the teeny weeny wand, it's so small. This is actually surprisingly good. The formula is a wee bit wet, which I was kind of about, but it's pretty good. It does a good job of getting in at the root of my lashes and getting all the way out, and it does really coat them. I have quite long lower lashes as well as top. It's really, really good. I appreciate it, but you know, I get fall down all the time and it drives me nuts. I'm sure I'm not the only one who gets fall down either, but it just means my lashes do tend to rub the lower part of my lid a wee bit. Not rub, you know what I mean, they touch basically, and it can be quite frustrating when you look and you've got smudgy bits. This does really quite well. When I was doing my testing last week, I did notice a tiny amount, like teeny tiny black dots. Only a few, only a small amount. So there was a tiny amount of fall down, but again, that was at the end of the day. so it had lasted pretty well. I noticed them actually by sort of about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so not too bad at all. It seems to wear really well. The mascara was still there and still in place, and it doesn't necessarily clump my lashes, but because the formula is a wee bit wet, they do tend to stick together a wee bit. But I use my metal lash comb and always comb my lashes through anyway, so that separated it out, but there were no lumps, so that's a good sign. This retails for £13, I believe. I don't know if I'd rush out to repurchase it. I'm really glad I have it, and I will definitely use it all up, but I don't know if it's the be all and end all of lower lash mascara. I don't know, I'm in two minds. Do really appreciate it, but £13.50, you know, for the same, this is £13.50 and this is £13, and you get, how many grams is in this? So it's got 2 ml in this, and this has, it doesn't say, but I would assume there is more. Oh, there we go, 7 ml in this, 2 ml in this, so you're paying £13 for 2 grams of product. Really, you're just paying for the wand, I think. I don't know. I'm not entirely sold on it. If you have the money and you fancy splurging, definitely it is a handy wee mascara for your lower lashes. I was in one of those kind of moods, as I mentioned in one of the hauls. I deal with emotional issues by buying stuff, but I don't know, I quite like it. I like the packaging, pretty goddamn cute, but I'm not entirely sure I will repurchase when I run out. So, you know, two minds. Now for the Soap and Glory Archery Brow Tint and Precision Shaping Pencil. Now I am very sure that there is a more recent version of this out. I only got this about 2 weeks ago, thinking it was the new version, which everybody is comparing to the Anastasia Brow Wiz because it's got a really tiny nib pencil. But for some reason my Boots is still selling this one, so don't know what that is about. Anyway, I actually really like it, and I hope that, I don't know, I'm actually impressed with it mostly because of the brow tint. Now the only issue with the brow tint, sort of you see when I'm applying it, is that the nib end itself, it's kind of faded a bit. I don't know if it's, I'm trying to see, it seems to be it's picked up maybe other product or something, or it's not as black as it once was, because obviously I apply my foundation and then I do this over the top, so I'm guessing it's picking up product that way. But it does a really good job of tinting the area around it, and I actually prefer this. This is like my go-to at the minute. I do this slightly differently than I would do like my brow gel things, which I've done a review on some brow gels that will be up later this week, or it's already up, one of the two. But I really like this because I can get away a lot more with filling in the shape of my brow more so. So I prefer this than using a pencil. So this actually sort of tints the skin and you comb it through and stuff, and it actually fills in the wee bald spot there really nicely, and it shapes this brow really nicely there, because my eyebrows naturally look like sort of tadpole eyebrows that are kind of straight, so they're mostly here and then straight-ish and then down. That's how my eyebrows are naturally, and you know what, I've come to accept them as they are, and I quite like them. They suit my face. They wouldn't be growing that way if they didn't suit my face. So I just like to shape it a wee bit more here to fill them in so it doesn't look like I've over plucked them in my lifetime. So I fill it in a wee bit underneath, and then I just bring it through, and I try to follow the direction of my hairs. I watched a Claire Marshall brow tutorial. If I remember, I'll try and link that down below. It's really good. It actually made a lot more sense to me. I'm not the queen of brows by a long mile, but I do try and follow the shape of my brows more, because mine tend to brush down basically from that point on. They're coming down. That's why my brows are quite straight. So I do try and follow that. Well, I do brush up and then I'll comb them down through. So really like the brow tint for actually getting a nice shape of my brows, you know, filling in the bald spots. And the pencil isn't too bad. It is quite a fat end. So I do just like using it to just flatten down the hairs of my brows, which it does an okay job at, but I prefer using a brow gel after using this just to get my brows to stay in place. This doesn't do the best job. it does add more dimension to my brows and makes them look a bit more natural, because I am trying to match it with the redness of my hair at the minute, even though my roots are very much showing through. Having scalp issues, that's a whole other video. But I do want to darken my brows because I am fair and my brows are still kind of blondie. So I do like to darken my brows and add a bit more dimension using the pencil. So I don't know if I'm going to try out the new one whenever I've used this up. But I actually quite like the pen, the tint. Really like it. I hope it's actually in the new one, but I don't think it is, because it seems to have a spoolie on the other end. So, you know, stuff. I might have to check out a pomade or something instead, because I like the tint rather than just a pencil. So this is actually not bad. Quite surprised. Glad I got it. Would have, you know, I definitely appreciate it. The next product I'm going to talk about, and I'm so glad I actually gave in and got this. It's the Max Factor Cream Puff Blush in Seductive Pink. Love it. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Now, Lovely Girly Bits has compared this to the Hourglass blushes. And if that's the case, I will definitely be getting a few more of these, because I really like the effect that this has. Now, it's quite pink actually on my face, with sort of, it's kind of peachy kind of highlight, but I think that's more like the highlight through it rather than it being peachy. Does that make sense? It's quite pink of itself, but it's a warm kind of pink. I really like it. I really like it on my face. It does add a nice glow. It seems to have a bit of highlight to it without being too intense. Really easy to apply, really quite pigmented, so be careful, you know, tap your brush off. As you can see in the video, I tapped it off and I still had quite a bit of blush on there, but it blends out really nicely. And I'm feeling kind of 90s today with the strong this and all stuff, maybe. But this retails for $8.99, which I think is not bad at all for, doesn't say how many grams of product again. Goodness, I should have checked. But if this is a good dupe of the Hourglass blushes, because I'm tempted to go in now and swatch the Hourglass blushes, see if I can find one similar to this, just to see if that is the case. This also wears pretty well throughout the day. Now, by the end of my working day, sort of good 11 to 12 hours by the time I've applied my makeup to when I get home, minimal amount of it is there, like minimal, but it lasts until, I would say, lasts a good sort of 8 hours anyway, 8-9 hours, but it does gradually fade throughout the day. It doesn't fade in any kind of patchy way, anything like that, but it does fade a wee bit. But moving on, because this video is taking forever, so the next is Pillow Plump from Soap and Glory. It's a Sexy Mother Pucker Pillow Plump, and I hope that's the right way. Anyway, this is in Pinkwell. Really like this. When I first got it, I wasn't entirely sure, because the tingling and the zinging is seriously tingly and zingy the first time you use it. Maybe it's because your lips have never had it, or maybe it's because I hadn't used a product like this in a very, very long time, but it definitely has a serious bit of zing to your lips. As to the plumping effect, it does plump my, well, I notice it more on my top lip, because I have a very small top lip. You know, look, it's minimal. It does definitely plump that a wee bit, in that it irritates the edges a bit more, and it sort of, my lips appear slightly bigger. Not massively at all. I notice it because I'm aware of it. So don't expect big pouty lips by the end of it, but I like this product, and I actually quite like the zingy tingly now. When I first used it, I thought I was having an allergic reaction, like seriously, because it zings and tingles for quite some time. For example, I put this on and I have done the video this far, it's still tingling. Yeah, so we're talking a good sort of 20-30 minutes later. So quite impressive on that front. This wears quite nicely because it's a wee bit sticky, but not, you know, your hair isn't going to stick to your lips, but it can feel a wee bit gloopy, you know, on the edges. So that's my only sort of, I don't enjoy that. But it applies similar to the Clarins Instant Light, to the BB7 number 7 BB lips. I did a review on those, linked down below. It applies very similar to those. It feels quite creamy on application. It still feels quite creamy. It'll, you know, after as well. It lasts for not massive amounts, maybe an hour-ish, but it does feel nourishing on my lips. But when it does start to wear off, it gets more sticky of itself, if that makes sense. It kind of, you can feel that it needs reapplying. Not massive amounts of payoff, you know, but maybe it's the pink colour I went with, but it feels more like just a nice tinted gloss more than anything, and I really like that. This is definitely, I'm gradually collecting nice glosses and creamy products that I really enjoy on my lips, and this is definitely on there with them. This retails for £10 and you get 10ml, so it's a wee bit more expensive than the No. 7 Baby Lips, and you get a wee bit less, like we're talking, I think it's £1 more expensive and it's a milligram less, so you know, that's not bad. It's definitely cheaper than the Clarins, there's a surprise, but I like it. If you like these kind of products, the zingy types, it's a good one. Definitely recommend checking it out. So that is it. This video is going to be long. I'm going to try and edit it down. I hope you're keeping well. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.